on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is windy, cold, and it's April. Imagine that. We had a cold front come through last night, and it was 40 something degrees this morning, but it's warmed up just a little bit more. It's about 50 degrees. The wind is still howling. It's a little more windy than I wanted it to be, but I have just a couple hours to fish today, and I just wanted to see what I can do, whether that's good wind, good weather, bad weather. It's my only opportunity to get out here and do it, so here I am. So the game plan today really is just going to be pitch around and see if I can find some redfish and trout. This cold front may have done something to the fish. I don't really know yet. It may have pushed them deep. It may have pushed them up onto the little mud bank so they can get warm. I'm not really sure, honestly. The last couple trips, the weather has been nice and warm, so these fish started getting into these warmer spring patterns. But now that we had this cold front that's coming through, bringing all this cold northeast air, not really sure what it's going to do. But some of the lures that I'm going to be throwing today, just my standard Z-Man stuff with eye strike jigs. I'm going to start off, this is that same color, that plum and chartreuse tail Z-Man trout trick. I only have a couple of those left, but I'm going to pitch those around and see if I can catch something. I'm really hoping for some good sight fishing opportunities, kind of how the tail end of last week's video did, or kind of came together. So that's it. I'm going to push around. I'm going to bump into some of these oyster beds where I have a feeling these redfish may be, and see if we can get on something. Of course, as soon as my GoPro dies, I hook up it. I tell you guys, it's like clockwork. As soon as the GoPro dies, or as soon as you have any technical errors, that's when something fun happens. That's when I got this redfish right here. Come here. I know. It's okay, baby. There we go. How about this pretty girl? That is a beautiful slot redfish right there. Gorgeous. Got her on that plum chartreuse tail Z-Man trout trick. That is 21 inches. Beautiful. All right. We are going to go ahead and get her tagged up real quick. I got it right here. Okay, let's get that. Let's grab a tag. Here's the tag. So some of you guys that were asking about the tags in the last video. So these tags right here aren't like chipped or nothing like that. It doesn't track her movements through satellite or nothing like that. It's basically a tag that you have to physically catch this fish, remove the tag, and then report everything into DNR that way. Flip it over. All right, so let's go ahead and pop this in, and I'll explain a little bit more here in just a second. And turn out. Tagged. All right, baby. Let's go ahead and get you in. There she goes. All right, so like I was saying with the whole tagging deal, that tag, excuse me, that tag is just basically a piece of plastic with an identification number on it. So what you have to do is, if you catch a redfish that has a tag on it, there is basically a serial number that's on the tag. You call your local DNR, go to that cooperative angler group, our cooperative angler program that the DNR has. I'll put actually that link down below so you guys can find it really easy. And you just let them know what that number is. You tell them what creek you caught it in, what size it was, and they will give you prizes. They've got all kinds of stuff from like t-shirts to towels to fishing gear, just all kinds of neat little stuff. But what they're going to do is once DNR gets that information, they're going to compile it and to their database system, and that way they'll see, okay, this fish was originally tagged by Dan in this creek and it was found at this certain size, and now it was found in a different creek or in a different state at this specific size, and it lets them know kind of how far the fish has traveled, how well it's grown over the years. It just kind of tracks a bunch of basically migration and growth patterns of these fish, which is really cool because it lets the scientists figure out what these redfish are doing. So that's pretty much it. That's kind of all there is to the cooperative angler group. You just catch them, tag them, document on this little index card that I'm going to send into to DNR, and that's it. So let's see if we can catch some more. That was fun. That was very quick. That was actually like, man, my first cast once I relocated, and of course the GoPro on my chest died. So, but we got you guys caught up. Mullet just hit the absolute panic switch over here. I wonder why. And it's very difficult to get a cast in, to say the least. Every time I try to make a long overhand cast or even sidearm cast, it doesn't turn out very well because of the wind. So you guys see me pitching a lot. Now when I pitch, I'm pitching very, very similar to how you would with a bait caster. So I'm just opening the bail. I'm getting the lure basically right here where my hand is, where my index finger is here. I make sure, you usually see me bend the rod over and kind of flex it like that. I'm making sure it's going to unload out of that eye-tip fine. And then I just swing it and pendulum. So I just kind of come from the side like this and pitch it. And that's it. I don't try to slingshot it or nothing like that. I just swing it and pitch it like that. I used to be horrible at it when I first started. But then I kind of turned it into a game to learn how to get better at that, because I do see a benefit of being able to make little small short casts and short pitches this way. And it's really, really improved my fishing game, I can tell you. But what I used to do is I used to get in my backyard and be the weirdo that's out there fishing in the grass, but I would stand up on a bench and I would put buckets out there in the yard, buckets and bucket lids, and I would try to pitch to those buckets, and I would try to get as close as I could and just make it a game. But I would go out there almost every day for about 30 minutes, just a weirdo throwing the rod and reel in the backyard. But it helped me to get better. And now I'm so comfortable with it, I'll almost pitch before I'll throw overhand, just because I know I can get a more accurate cast. So again, I'm just making sure that this is even. My bait is right here even. Now when I hold it, I'm holding the lure by the knot right here. I want to make sure that I get my hands out of the way of that hook when I swing it too. I'm not holding the bait. It's covered with Procure. I just hold the knot, and basically the knot and my index finger right here are exactly the same. And it's just a little swing. That's all it is. Nothing too crazy. It's really nice to be able to pitch when you got the wind at your back as well, because it doesn't take much and you can really get a nice accurate cast in, or an accurate pitch in, and really throw it pretty far. All right, last cast. Where's it gonna go? How about right towards that gut? Give me a redfish. Just one more. All I want to do is come out and catch two, and one short. And that's a negative. No big deal. Well, you guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. For those of you who grounded out with me, thanks for sticking around. I tell you, today, this wind was an absolute nightmare. It was very difficult to deal with casting. The temperature's cold. I think it was 42 degrees this morning. That cold front blew in. Started to blow in yesterday afternoon. I was watching it at my house blow my flags and my trees dead sideways, and I knew it was going to be a little challenging today with this wind and with these conditions, and that's exactly what it was, challenging to say the least. But I was able to get a nice redfish on the boat. I got that redfish tagged and released, which is always fun. My whole plan really was to come out here today, fish for a few hours, and just try to catch 2 fish. Really, that was it, 2 fish. Well, I caught 1 fish. I was able to get it on camera. I did have camera difficulties, of course. Every time it seems like something fun or interesting happens, one of my batteries died. It just is what it was. And honestly, I made that cast, and as I was working it back, the camera died, and then bang, she hit it. So I was able to get the footage captured for you guys on this camera. This is actually my rear camera here, and this is the main camera. This is the one that I have tied to me that you guys normally see, and this is the microphone. This is why you guys can hear me so well. These microphones are absolutely clutch. I'm not a fan of wearing a camera on my head because I'm constantly looking and scanning around. I'm looking for pushes and looking for movement, and if you guys were attached to my head, I mean, this would be annoying fast. So I keep you guys here, and I roll the rear camera to give you guys a little bit of a perspective view, as if you were someone else on the boat or whatnot. It just gives an alternate angle, which is something that you guys have given me positive feedback on and told me that you like, so I keep it. So that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to clean up, tidy up the boat real quick, and then I got a long run across some really rough conditions. So lovely. It is what it is. But thank you guys. Take care. God bless.